How to run your own private VPN server with Algo VPN and Vultr. The first thing you need to do is open up your browser and navigate to the following URL address. This URL address is my referral link and it will give you $100 free Vultr promotional credit for you to test out Vultr servers free for 30 days. I'll put my referral link in the video description below. Once you've clicked on my referral link, you'll be taken to the Vultr homepage. Once you're on the Vultr homepage, the next thing you need to do is create a Vultr account. To do this, simply fill in your email address here, pick a password, and then left click on Create Account. Vultr will then send you an email to your inbox. You'll need to open it up and click on the confirmation link to activate your Vultr account. Once you've done that, guys, sign into your Vultr account. I'm already signed into my Vultr account, so I'm simply going to left click on my account here and I'll be taken to my Vultr dashboard. Once you're in your Vultr dashboard, you're going to need to add your billing details to receive the $100 free Vultr promotional credit as a brand new user. To do this, simply navigate to the left hand side here and left click on billing. Once you've done that, guys, you'll need to add your billing details. Once you've added your billing details, to the right hand side of billing, you'll be able to see the free $100 Vultr promotional credit credited to your Vultr account. As you can see, guys, I have less than $2 remaining of my Vultr credit. Once you've got your credit, guys, the next thing we need to do is enable API access on your Vultr account. We need to enable this access for Algo VPN. To do this, simply navigate to the top right hand side here to your profile name, left click on the arrow, and then left click on API. Once you've done that, guys, you'll be taken to the API tab for the personal access token. As you can see, guys, API access is currently disabled on your account. To enable it, guys, all you need to do is left click on Enable API. And as you can see, guys, in green here it says API access enabled. Integrate with the Vultr API to quickly spin up, destroy, and control your instances using this API key. And right here, guys, is your API key, which Algo VPN is going to request from you later when we're setting up our Algo VPN server. If you're ever wondering how to disable API access, all you need to do is left click on the Disable API button here. Great, guys, so we've created our Vultr account and we've set up API access and have generated our API key. The next thing we need to do, because I'm on Windows, is turn on a Windows feature called Windows Subsystem for Linux. This will give us an Ubuntu Linux terminal to execute all the commands in the Algo VPN GitHub repository. If you're also on Windows, to do this, navigate to the bottom left hand corner here to your Windows taskbar, to the search box, and left click on it. Once done, type the following: turn Windows features on or off. Once you've typed that in, guys, the best match should be turn Windows features on or off in the control panel. To open it, simply left click on Open. You'll then be greeted with a small window here called Windows Features. Turn Windows features on or off. To turn a feature on, select its checkbox. To turn a feature off, clear its checkbox. A filled checkbox means that only part of the feature is turned on. The feature that we're looking for, guys, is called Windows Subsystem for Linux. So I'm just going to scroll all the way down here as it will be right at the bottom. And as you can see, guys, Windows Subsystem for Linux is not currently turned on. To turn it on, checkmark this box and then left click on OK. Once you've done that, guys, Windows will start applying the changes you have just made to this Windows feature, and then you'll be greeted with this message here which says, Windows completed the requested changes. Windows needs to reboot your PC to finish installing the requested changes. Alright, guys, for Windows to finish turning on the Windows Subsystem for Linux, it needs you to restart your PC. So all you need to do, guys, is left click on Restart Now, and I'll be back with you guys once my computer has restarted and I'm back on my desktop. Alright, guys, I've just finished restarting my computer and I'm back on my desktop. The next thing we need to do is install Ubuntu 18.04 LTS. To do this, navigate to the bottom left hand corner here of your taskbar and again left click on the search box here. Once here, guys, type Microsoft space Store. Once you've typed that in, guys, the best match should be the Microsoft Store app. To open it, simply left click on Open. Once you've got your Microsoft Store open, navigate to the top right hand corner here to where it says Search and left click on the search button here. Once done, you'll be greeted with a search box here. Type Ubuntu and then hit enter to search. At the time of recording of this video, I'm greeted with 18 applications from the Ubuntu search. The app that we're looking for specifically is the Ubuntu 18.04 LTS. Now, why are we choosing the 18.04 LTS version of Ubuntu instead of the other versions right here? That is because Algo VPN, at the time of recording of this video, suggests for us to use Ubuntu 18.04 LTS with Windows Subsystem for Linux. Once you've found the Ubuntu 18.04 LTS app, simply left-click on it. You'll then be greeted with a brief description about the app. Ubuntu 18.04 on Windows allows one to use Ubuntu Terminal and run Ubuntu command line utilities, including Bash, SSH, Git, apt, and many more. And if you want to find out more about this application, just simply left-click on More, and of course you can scroll down and browse the 4 tabs here. Make sure the Ubuntu 18.04 LTS is by Canonical Group Limited. Once you've found the correct Ubuntu app, guys, make sure you left-click on Get at the top right-hand corner here. Now, I've already got the app and I own it, therefore it doesn't say Get for me. Once you've clicked on Get, you'll have the ability to install. To install it, just left-click on the blue Install button here. Alright guys, the Ubuntu 18.04 LTS app will now begin installing, and I'll be back with you once the app has installed. Alright guys, the Ubuntu app is now installed. To launch it, simply left-click on the blue Launch button here. And as you can see guys, the Ubuntu Linux terminal window has now opened, and I'm just going to maximize it here for better viewing. As you can see at the top guys, it says installing. Just let it finish installing and be ready for the next step. It's just finished installing, and as you can see it says, please create a default Unix user account. The username does not need to match your Windows username. Enter new Unix username. So of course guys, as it said, it doesn't need to match your Windows username. It can be unique to this app. The Unix username that I'm going to be going with guys is the same as my YouTube channel, so I'm just going to type websplaining in here. Once you've picked a username, hit enter. Next, enter a new Unix password. So I'm just going to pick one here. Once you've picked a password, guys, hit enter. And as you can see, it says retype new Unix password. So I'm just going to retype my password now, guys. Once you've retyped your password, hit enter. And then you're greeted with this message, password updated successfully, installation successful. To run the command as administrator, use sudo. Great guys, we've got our Ubuntu terminal now set up, and now we can begin configuring the Algo VPN server. The first command we need to type is sudo space apt space update. Once you've typed that in, guys, hit enter. You'll then be asked by the Ubuntu terminal to enter your Unix username's password, which in my case is for the websplaining Unix username, and I'm just going to enter my password now, guys. Once you've entered in your password, hit enter to start updating the Ubuntu Linux. I'll be back with you guys once the update has finished. Alright guys, Ubuntu has finished updating now. The next command you want to type is pwd, which will print the working directory that you're currently in. It's just to see where exactly you are in the Ubuntu Linux terminal. As you can see guys, the directory that we're in is /home/websplaining, which is my home directory. Great, so we now know where we are. The next thing we need to do is download the Algo VPN files. To do this, open back up your browser and navigate to the following URL address, https://github.com/trailofbits/algo. Once you're here guys, you'll be on the Algo VPN GitHub repository. Once here, scroll down until you see Deploy the Algo Server. As you can see guys, deploy the Algo server is right here. Step 1 is to set up an account on a cloud hosting provider. Of course guys, we've set up an account with Vultr. Second step is to get a copy of Algo. To do this guys, simply right click on the hyperlink text here which says zip file. So all I'm going to do guys is right click on this hyperlink text and then I'm going to left click on copy link address. Once you've done that guys, open up your Ubuntu Linux terminal, so I'm just going to do that now, and simply type wget space and then right click to paste the link you just copied. The link you copied and just pasted is the download link for the Algo VPN server GitHub repository. Once you've done that guys, simply hit enter. Algo VPN will then be downloaded to your PC. As you can see guys, the file is called master.zip and we're going to need to unzip this file. To do this, we're going to need to install unzip onto Ubuntu. Type sudo apt install unzip. Once you've typed that in guys, simply hit enter. Unzip will then be installed onto your Ubuntu subsystem. Now that we've installed unzip, we can now unzip the master.zip file. To do this, simply type unzip space master.zip, which is the name of our zip file, and then hit enter. And as you can see guys, the master.zip file has now been uncompressed. To see the unzip folder, simply type ls to list all the files, folders and directories in the current directory that you're in. So I'm just going to hit enter now to execute the ls command. As you can see guys, we have two files. We have the master.zip file, which we downloaded from the Algo VPN Server GitHub repository, and we have the unzip file of that zip file called algo-master. The next thing we need to do is enter our Vultr API key that we generated at the start of the video into a file onto our Ubuntu subsystem. To do this, I'm going to need to open back up my browser to go back to the Algo repository, scroll down and look for where it says setup instructions for specific cloud providers. As you can see guys, we found that section right here, and the instructions that we're looking for is to configure Vultr. So simply right click on this hyperlink text here and then left click open link in a new tab. Once you've done that guys, left click on the new tab that opens here and scroll down. The first command that we need to copy is this command here which says nano squiggly line /.vultr.ini. So all I'm going to do now guys is highlight it, right click on it and copy this command. Once you've copied it, open back up your terminal window and right click to paste. Hit enter. Great, so we're now inside the file we just created. The next thing we need to do is copy another piece of text. So I'm just going to open back up my browser here and then copy this command which says default key equals and then your API key. So all I'm going to do guys is left click on this clipboard icon here to copy the command, and I'm going to open back up my terminal window and right click to paste. Great, so we've pasted in the correct text. Next what we need to do is enter our API key to replace what comes after the equals symbol here. To do this, open back up your browser and then click on the Vultr tab here. As you can see guys, our API key is right here. To copy it, simply left click on the copy to clipboard button here, copy API key to clipboard. Once you've done that, open back up your terminal, use your arrow keys and delete everything that comes after the equals symbol here. Once you've done that guys, right click to paste your API key, press Ctrl+O on your keyboard to save, hit enter, and then press Ctrl+X on your keyboard to exit this file. Great guys, so now we have entered in our API key. The next command we need to enter is for Python 3, so all I'm going to do guys is open back up my browser and navigate back to the Algo VPN GitHub repository. Once you're back on the repository guys, scroll back up to the very top to step 3. Great guys, step 3 is right here, which says install Algo's core dependencies. Now because we're on Windows and we're using the Windows Subsystem for Linux and have installed the Ubuntu Terminal app, we're going to need to scroll down until you see where it says Windows. Use the Windows Subsystem for Linux, WSL, to create your own copy of Ubuntu running under Windows from which to install and run Algo. Now of course guys, we've already set that up, and as you can see it says see the Windows documentation. So all we need to do is right click on this hyperlink text here which says Windows documentation and then left click on open link in new tab. Once you've done that guys, click on that new tab that you just opened and scroll down until you see where it says install Algo. Now the command that we're looking for specifically is the sudo apt install -y python 3 -virtual env. So all we need to do is highlight this command here, right click on it and left click on copy. Once you've done that guys, open back up the Ubuntu Linux terminal and right click to paste. Once you've pasted in the command, execute it by pressing enter on your keyboard. Great guys, the installation is now complete. The next thing we need to do is change our directory into the algo-master folder, which is the uncompressed folder of master.zip. So all I'm going to type is cd to change directory space algo-master. Once you've typed that in guys, hit enter and type ls to list all the files and folder in that directory. And as you can see guys, there's all our Algo VPN server files. We need to grab another command guys from the Algo VPN GitHub repository, so I'm just going to open back up my browser, navigate back to the repository, scroll down to step 4, install Algo's remaining dependencies, left click on this clipboard icon to copy this entire command here. Once done, open back up the Ubuntu terminal here and right click to paste. And I'll be back with you guys once the remaining Algo dependencies have been installed. Great guys, now that Algo's remaining dependencies have now been installed, the next thing we need to do is add users to the Algo VPN config file. To do this, simply type the following command, nano space config.cfg. Once you've typed that in, guys, hit enter. The config file will then open. As you can see, guys, at the very top here it says this is the list of users to generate. Every device must have a unique user. You can add up to 65,534 new users over the lifetime of an Algo VPN. Usernames with leading O's or containing only numbers should be escaped in double quotes. Email addresses are not allowed. So as you can see, guys, by default, Algo VPN adds 3 users to the config file: phone, laptop, and desktop. Of course, guys, these are just placeholder usernames, and you can add your own. Remember, guys, you need to add a unique user for each device using your Algo VPN server. For me, guys, I have a Windows computer and an Android smartphone. I'm also going to be adding a third user, and that is for my friend called John. To add users, use the navigation arrows here to get down to where it says phone. Delete what's there, guys, so I'm just going to do that now and replace it with your username. So for me, guys, I'm going to be calling it websplaining-pc. For the second username, guys, I'm going to be deleting laptop here. I'm going to be calling it websplaining-android. And for my friend John, guys, all I'm going to be doing is deleting the word desktop here and typing the name John. If you wanted to add a fourth user and beyond, guys, press down on your arrow key, 2 spaces, dash, space, and then the name of the username that you want to add. For me, guys, 3 users is enough for this video demonstration. Once you've added or removed users, all you need to do is press Ctrl+O on your keyboard to save the changes you have just made, hit enter, and then press Ctrl+X on your keyboard to exit from the config.cfg file. All that's left to do now, guys, is to run Algo to begin the Algo VPN deployment. To do this, simply type /algo and then hit enter. Once you've run Algo, guys, you'll be greeted with a cloud prompt here which says, what provider would you like to use? 1 is DigitalOcean, 2 is Amazon Lightsail, 3 is Amazon EC2, 4 is Microsoft Azure, Google Compute Engine, Hetzner Cloud, Vultr, Scaleway, OpenStack, CloudStack, Linode, and finally, number 12 is installed to exist in Ubuntu 18.04 or 20.04 server. Now, of course, guys, the cloud server that we set up an account with is called Vultr, and that's number 7 for Vultr. So we're going to simply type 7 in here and hit enter. Once you've done that, guys, you'll be asked to name the VPN server. So I'm just going to call it Algo VPN and then hit enter. Next, it says cellular on demand prompt. Do you want macOS, iOS clients to enable connect on demand when connected to cellular networks? For me, guys, I don't have a macOS or iOS device, nor does my friend John, so I'm going to be typing N in here and then hitting enter. Next is Wi-Fi on demand prompt. Do you want macOS/iOS clients to enable connect on demand when connected to Wi-Fi? Yes or no? Again, guys, I'm going to be typing N and hitting enter. Next is retain the PKI prompt. Do you want to retain the keys PKI required to add users in the future but less secure? So guys, if you want to add users in the future to your private Algo VPN server, you're going to want to type the letter Y in here, but remember, it is less secure. If you don't want to add any more users in the future, type N, and of course it's more secure. If you value your security, guys, make sure you type N in here, and before you get to the retain the PKI prompt here, make sure you've added all your desired users to the config.cfg file that we edited earlier. Once you've typed the letter N, guys, hit enter on your keyboard. DNS ad blocking prompt. Do you want to enable DNS ad blocking on the VPN server? Y for yes, N for no. I don't, guys, so I'm just going to type N and hit enter. Next, SSH tunneling prompt. Do you want each user to have their own account for SSH tunneling? Yes or no? I'm going to be typing N, guys, as I want to be the only one to own an account for SSH tunneling. Once you've entered Y for yes or N for no, hit enter. You'll then be greeted with this message here which says Cloud Vultr pause. Enter the local path to your configuration INI file. Now, of course, guys, this is in relation to the Vultr API key that we entered into the vultr.ini file. We don't need to specify a local path in here for our Vultr INI configuration file here, and that is because the Algo VPN setup here will automatically search the vultr.ini file and locate our Vultr API key that we entered. So all we need to do, guys, is leave it blank and hit enter. Next, it says, what region should the server be located in? For Vultr, guys, you have 17 options at the time of recording of this video. Number 1 here is Sydney, 2 is Toronto, 3 Frankfurt, 4 Paris, 5 London, 6 Tokyo, 7 Seoul, 8 Amsterdam, 9 Singapore, 10 Atlanta, 11 Chicago, 12 Dallas, 13 Los Angeles, 14 Miami, 15 New Jersey, 16 Seattle, and 17 Silicon Valley. For this video, guys, I'm going to be going with option 3 here, which is for Frankfurt. So all I'm going to type is the number 3 in here and then hit enter. Algo VPN will then begin installing onto our Vultr server. I'll be back with you guys once the Algo VPN server has been installed and deployed. Great guys, our Algo VPN server has now finished deployment. As you can see at the very top here, it says, congratulations, your Algo server is running, config files and certificates are in the following directory. Algo VPN does advise you to take note of the P12, which is the user certificate password, and the CA key in case you need them later. They'll only be displayed this time only. So what I advise doing, guys, is copying the P12 and SSH keys and the shell access details. To do this, guys, just simply left click and highlight everything you want to copy and right click on it to copy. Once done, navigate to the bottom left hand corner here to the search box, left click on it and then search for Notepad. Notepad for me, guys, is right here, so I'm just going to left click on it to open it. Once done, right click inside the notepad and left click on paste to paste in the copied text. And then what you should do is navigate to the top left hand corner here to file and then left click on save to save this text document with all its details. I'm not going to do that, guys, as this is just a video demonstration. Great, so our Algo VPN server is now running. I'm just going to show you how that looks like in the Vultr dashboard. So I'm just going to open back up my browser here, click on the Vultr tab here, and then left click on products. Once done, in products, you can see a server called Algo VPN with the following IP address. The operating system is Ubuntu, the location is Frankfurt, which we chose, and the status is running. The next thing we need to do is connect to our Algo VPN server. To do this, we're going to need to download a VPN client. The client that we need to download is called WireGuard. Navigate to the following URL address, https://www.wireguard.com. Once you're here, guys, you'll be on the WireGuard homepage. To download the WireGuard client, simply left click on installation here at the very top. At the very top here, you have Windows. Underneath, you have Mac OS, Ubuntu, Android, iOS, and various other Linux operating systems. Of course, guys, I'm on a Windows computer, so I'm going to be downloading WireGuard for Windows. So all I'm going to do is hover over the Download Windows Installer button here and left click on it. Once done, Windows will prompt you to pick a save location for the WireGuard installer. I'm going to be going with the Downloads folder here. I'm going to leave the file name as it is and the save as type as application. Left click on save to start the download. The WireGuard installer is a very small file. It should be downloaded rather quickly. Great, guys, so the installation is completed. What I'm going to do is navigate to the bottom left hand corner of my browser, left click on this arrow and left click on open. If you're on Windows, you'll be prompted by the user account control, which says, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? Of course, guys, if you want to install WireGuard, you're going to need to select yes. So all I'm going to do is left click on yes. Once done, guys, a small WireGuard client window will open. I'm just going to maximize this window for better viewing. As you can see, guys, at the top left hand corner here, we're currently in the tunnels tab. We don't have any tunnels imported in the tunnels tab. To import a tunnel, you can either import it from a file or as an empty tunnel, which is exactly what we're going to do. So navigate to the bottom left hand corner here to where it says add tunnel, left click on this arrow here, and then you'll be greeted with two options. The first option is to import tunnel from a file, and underneath is to add an empty tunnel. We're going to be adding an empty tunnel, guys. So all I'm going to do is left click on add empty tunnel. Once you've done that, guys, you'll be greeted with a little window which says create new tunnel. You can pick a name for your tunnel, so I'm just going to call it Frankfurt, which is the same name as our Algo VPN server location. In this text box below here, we're going to need to grab this information from a user.conf file generated by Algo VPN during the Algo VPN server deployment. To grab our tunnel details, guys, open up the Ubuntu app and then simply type ls and hit enter. The directory that we want to change into is called configs, which is right here, guys. So all I'm going to type is cd space configs and then hit enter. And as you can see, guys, we're now in the configs directory. Type ls again to list all the directories, files, and folders in the configs directory that you're in. And as you can see, guys, we have the IP address of our Algo VPN server. We also have algo.pem and algo.pem.pub. The directory that we want to change into is our Algo VPN server's IP address. This IP address, guys, will be unique to you and to the Vultr server location that you picked. Whatever that IP address is, guys, all you need to do is type cd space and then the IP address that you see in the Ubuntu terminal here. So all I'm going to type, guys, is 209.250.233.207. Once you've typed that in, guys, hit enter and then type ls again and hit enter. Next, we need to change directory into the WireGuard folder here, so simply type cd to change directory space WireGuard. Once you've typed that in, hit enter. Great, so we're now in the WireGuard directory, type ls again and hit enter. And as you can see, guys, you'll be able to see all the user config files for Algo VPN that you added into the config.cfg file when you were configuring your Algo VPN usernames. As you can see, guys, each Algo VPN username has two files unique to it. So for example, websplaining-pc here has a .config file, but it also has a .png file. The .png file is simply a QR code for you to scan with your smartphone when adding a tunnel on your WireGuard app on your smartphone. It's much easier than entering in the tunnel text when adding a tunnel. And as you can see, guys, we also have websplaining-android.conf, websplaining-android.png, john.conf, and john.png. To grab my tunnel information of websplaining-pc.conf, guys, all I'm going to type is cat space and then the name of your .conf file. For me, guys, it's websplaining-pc.conf. Once you've typed that in, guys, hit enter and you'll be able to see inside the conf file. And as you can see, guys, you can see your interface details and your peer details, which is the information required when adding a tunnel to your WireGuard client. So all I'm going to do, guys, is copy from the bottom here of endpoint all the way to interface. Once you've highlighted it all, guys, to copy it, all you need to do is right click. Next, open back up your WireGuard client, delete what's currently in there, and then right click and left click on paste to paste in your tunnel information. Once you've done that, guys, simply left click on save and you'll have successfully added your Algo VPN server's tunnel information. Remember, guys, instead of adding an empty tunnel, you can simply left click on the add tunnel button here and search for the specific .conf file. For me, guys, I just prefer doing the cat method or cat to see what's inside, copy it and paste it into an empty tunnel to add it into my WireGuard client. Before I connect to my Algo VPN server, guys, by hitting the activate button here, I'm just going to show you how you can access your .conf file and the QR code, which is in PNG format for when you want to connect with your smartphone device. To get to the PNG and .conf file, all you need to do is open back up the Ubuntu terminal here and type explorer.exe. Once you've typed explorer.exe, guys, hit enter and a Windows File Explorer window will open. Once it has opened, guys, navigate to the very top here, left click, delete what's currently there, and then type the following, //WSL and then the dollar symbol. Once you've typed that in, guys, hit enter. Once done, you'll be in network here and you should see the name of the Ubuntu app that you installed, which in both our cases at the time of recording of this video will be Ubuntu-18.04. Double click on it to open it. Once here, guys, you'll be able to see all the directories in your Windows Ubuntu subsystem. Find the folder called home and double click on it. Once done, double click on your UNIX username, which in my case is websplaining. Next, locate algo-master and double click on it. Once here, look for configs and double click on that. You should then be able to see one more folder, which in my case is called 209.250.233.207, which is the IP address of my Vultr server, which has Algo VPN installed on it. Again, guys, this folder will have a unique IP address for you. Just double click on it once you've found it. Once done, guys, look for where it says WireGuard and double click on it. And as you can see, guys, you'll be able to see all your config files and all the PNG files for each of the usernames that you added to your config.cfg file. To open up the PNG files, just double click on it. So for me, guys, I'm going to locate the websplaining-android PNG file. I'm going to double click on it to be greeted with a QR code that I can scan using my WireGuard app on my smartphone. And this will allow me to add my tunnel to be able to connect to my Algo VPN server. Great, guys, now that I've shown you that, I'm just going to minimize out of my PNG image here. And all that's left to do now, guys, is to connect to our Algo VPN. So I'm just going to open back up my WireGuard client here on my Windows computer. And all I'm going to do is left click on activate to be connected to my Algo VPN server hosted on my Vultr cloud server. To be sure that I'm connected to my Algo VPN server, I'm just going to open back up my browser here. I'm going to navigate to a search engine of my choice, which in my case is going to be duckduckgo.com. You can navigate to any search engine of your choice. Once you're here, guys, click on the search box and type the following: what is my IP address? Once you've typed that in, guys, click the magnifying glass to search. And as you can see, guys, at the very top here, the DuckDuckGo search engine says your IP address is 209.250.233.207 in Frankfurt, in Germany, which means my Algo VPN server is working correctly and my original IP address is masked by my Algo VPN server's IP address. Alright, guys, that pretty much concludes the video on how to run your own private VPN server with Algo VPN and Vultr. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, comment down below, and most importantly of all, subscribe to support the channel. I'll see you on the next video.
Why is it so